Check. Mic on. Mic is live.
It might sound like shit. We don't know.
Never know.
But you know what? That's the best part because we are back.
We're back and we're better than ever. Well,
Don't call it a
I
comeback.
don't know if better than ever, but back.
We are hoping to be better than ever based on many twists and turns. And we're sitting here at a new location. It's my house.
Yeah.
It's where we should have been all along, to be honest.
Yeah.
We love My Yard Live. Ryan maybe doesn't love it as much because he's there every day, but
Yeah.
we love
it
My
actually,
Yard
yeah, it
Live.
was a relief. I didn't have to be at work another day when I didn't have to be there. It was good.
So we got a new little setup. We can get after a little more. We can be a little more consistent, and just you guys aren't going to be able to get enough of us because we're just going to chat it up
Overload.
nonstop. We don't know what we're going to talk about it. We're going to keep it a little more loose. We have so many things to talk about. We're trying to figure out how to kind of compact this, put it together. But right now for this first show, just to get back into first one for 2024, we took like good 4.5,
Yeah, we
pushing
left you
5
guys
months
hanging.
off.
Chomping a bit.
I'm sure you guys survived, but we did start getting some people chirping, wondering what happened, what's going on. And that's also going to be our next show because a lot's been going on my end for sure that even Ryan, you don't know about because it's been something that I have not been excited to talk about. I've also not been allowed to talk about. A lot of these things are coming to a head. Myself personally, I can't be quiet forever. I have a living to make, and I have a lot of things. And for those that know me, and Ryan knows, my whole background comes from where Chasing the Cool spawned from, and being able to do marketing and creating culture for brands and doing redesigns on logos and everything you can, which led to things like Ethica and Malcolm McCaskey and led into Trust Me Vodka. And that's kind of who I've become for many years. Pretty much when we met, it was you were one of the first people to ever know about it, as we talked about. So that a lot going on that end, a lot to talk about. We'll be kind of breaking that down and letting I'll be letting you know, as well as probably 19,000 plus people that want to have a little bit of an understanding of where we're at with that and the status of that, as you should. A lot of money raised, a lot of potential, and a lot of things that we're hoping to do, and we'll get to that in the next episode. But that's going to be happening. But that's where I've been. I've been a little bit. I know people are used to seeing me out at certain places. I'm constantly visiting accounts and doing events and hitting golf tournaments and on, and that all kind of just came to a screeching halt. So it's been tough for me because it's I want to get out there and love being out there doing what I do and meeting people and doing exciting things and talking about the future. But again, just kind of had my hands tied for a while. And so we're back here because one, haven't seen you other than when you're running behind the bar, so we don't get to hang out and do this, So it's cool just to be able to kind of catch up and just say what's up. But we wanted to have that little bit more of that vibe, because when we do, usually our best experiences are, whether it's you and me, it's hang out with some of the boys, whatever. Yeah. We're at a Padres game. We're sitting at the backyard. We're at Churchill's, was our most recent, only time we got to
dancing to 90s hip hop.
Got to kind of accidentally hang out this year. Wasn't
Yeah.
even planned, but those are usually the best ones. And
yeah, I mean, really where we're at, and we talked about this, during the downtime, that we had a lot going on in our personal lives, especially with you. But really being more organic, I think when we were coming into it, like we talked today, and we've talked over the last few months, like we wanted to have fun. We were still being us, but I think it was more like, let's kind of script it out. Let's make sure it's appealing. And we were just overthinking things. And I don't think we were anywhere where we were at when we first started talking about this in the backyard here, about why we wanted to do it. We're not out here to make $1 million. We're not out here. We're here to be fun, organic, be ourselves. If you want to listen, listen. If you don't, but there's going to be some stuff that we're going to change up the script a little bit. We're going to be ourselves. And we're going to be out there, and we're going to be talking about the things that are important to us, having fun. There might be some pauses, some awkward moments. There's going to be some awesome moments, tons of awesome opportunities and guests, things we've talked about. For me, my job's demanding, 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks. I had the opportunity to kind of have like a come to Jesus moment and hang out with some people really close to me at work and really talk about where I was at spiritually, physically, psychologically, and mostly interpersonally. I don't have that opportunity, as you know, and we're friggin' best of homies, and just don't have that opportunity to network and talk to people and do the things that my hobbies, golf, get out and do those things, and everything's so condensed. Having incredible family around us. My wife is incredibly supportive, was incredibly supportive of this, and was always like, are you guys getting back to it? Yeah. It had nothing to do with the home stuff. I think for both of us, it was that professional level that hit the pause button, and we didn't have the opportunity to align our lives. Shout out to Billy No Jokes. He'll be back too, running the sound here and there. Billy. But he's got those twins running around. I think you nailed it. We started making so many excuses on why we couldn't do it, couldn't be there, that it just finally came to a head. That's like, we have to be able to get back and do what we love. And if there's one person or 1,000 people, we're here having our outlet. Right?
Yeah, we just got to go, and that's what again. Hey, people out there, you might have already turned this one off. We don't know. Yeah. That's the way it is, and it might be 50 more. You'll check back in and see if we've gotten any better. Hopefully we have. Probably haven't, but we're going to be talking. We're going to be having fun, and yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, typically what it has become and what it is a lot of times is us coming to see you at your work, which is cool enough that we have an opportunity to do that. Some people are traveling and work a different job where they're just in their own little world and away from families and friends. Cool part is we can at least come kind of hang out with you. It's not as fun for you because you have your moments you can break away and get a little drink. Or
I had my first lunch a couple months ago with
him.
You
did, yeah.
Sat down, the whole place went silent.
Everybody behind the bar that works on was going like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there eating?
Sitting down to eat in a 14, 15-hour day. But
yeah, we had to get some, March Madness was firing up, and we had to get in there and kind of.
We've missed a lot. I'll be honest, we missed a lot. We missed the Super Bowl stuff, like getting after that. Once we got into the NBA that we started talking about, we've missed a lot of fun. Go Celtics.
I mean, last time we were talking, I was telling everybody how great Wembley is.
Yeah, Wembley's
even though
great.
His name's Wemby.
We're not talking about Fraggle Rock, but that's okay.
I got it now.
And he's good. He's doing good.
He was literally that new that I was really just connecting him to stadiums.
It was so good. I mean, we were talking about being 9 inches tall, 9 feet. I mean, a lot of fun stuff, and we're going to continue to do these fun things. Again, we're gonna have fun, dude.
We're gonna have fun. And here's something we're gonna do. We're starting out this one, even though we're not at My Yard Live, we are still My Yard Live. Best damn beers ever. Shaggy's the man. Shaggy's gonna be on the show. We talked to him a couple hours ago. He's already signed off. He's gonna be on. Funniest dude you've ever met. So today we are having some My Yard Live by Shaggy. Go pick these up as 4-packs. Go sit at the bar with Ryan. I'll probably be there. And I'm having the basic batch today, a little honey blonde ale.
Basic batch honey blonde. Actually, last year me and Shaggy got to go to Nashville, Tennessee together on the company. Shout out to Jamie and Mark. We went out and we won at the World Beer Cup in the honey blonde category. That actually won a bronze at the World Beer Cup. There's 10,400 people trying to enter into this competition. That one won. I got the Quattro Amigos, 4 dudes. Shout out to James. Shout out to the 4 dudes. The whole story. We'll relay that out. Shout out to My Yard Live, by the way, real quick, one last time. Everyone that's been supporting us. One of the other reasons I haven't been here is we've been so goddamn busy.
Yes,
you guys are supporting us. We are at a peak right now, and we can't thank everyone enough for the support. Again, Jamie, Mark, thank you for the support.
Hey guys, when you go in, we gotta. I've been pitching the banners dropping down out of the rafters. I mean, you want to talk about the Celtics? I mean, you know about
Shaggy's
banners
on that
coming
championship
down,
run,
and I want to see those things. I mean, it's cool. There's American flag, Mexican flag. There's a new Padres flag. There's some flags, but let's get the rafters and show off those championships. Yeah. I'm telling you, our guy Shaggy is a beast.
He's unreal.
And I mean, we got. There's a lot of breweries around here. There's some good beers. There's some great stuff. But dude, this guy, I'm not just trying to pump him up. His stuff is.
We were out there at the World Beer Cup, and we're out there with Port and Stone and all these places. And it was so funny. And this is a quick, funny story, actually. We're out there, and Shaggy knows the guy that owns one of the guys that owns Maui Brewing. Shout out to you. They kind of didn't want to talk to us. We were first out there. We're representing. It's just 2 of us. And we're hanging out, and Shaggy's like doing his thing. He's shaking hands and kissing babies, and we're talking. And it was funny how they were kind of, And then we win. And we got back on the plane, and we walk right by the guy Maui and his wife. And he's like, hey, on the plane, do you want to come do a collabo? And we were like, oh, funny, weird how that works.
Yeah.
Shaggy, you're a savant. You are a legend, and everyone knows it. We won, and we were touting around the awards all up and down Main Street in Nashville, and people were following and riding our coattails. It was an unbelievable moment.
Yeah,
we actually have the World Beer Cup coming up here, I think on the 21st, the award show. look for us to win some more awards.
So Truly Legend, get in there, check it out. Again, he's going to be on the show. Most of you listening have been to Meijer Live 300 times, and if you haven't, go there.
We'll be doing some cocktail stuff.
We're going to do so. Yeah, so we're gonna kind of start the shows off with, you know, it's weird with my background, Trust Me Vodka, Meijer Live, and all the places you've worked. It's
original.
It's weird that you know, we like to have some cocktails and some beer. So we're going to start the shows off, and maybe we're going to introduce you to something new. Maybe it's something you've already had, but it's fun for us because we need a cocktail to get it going and get the juices flowing. And so we're going to introduce something new to each time. If there's a recipe, we'll put it up. If it's a brewery, we'll tell you where it's at, tell you to check it out, tell you why to go there. So we're going to kind of fun it with that when we start. That's about all that we're going to have planned. As before, to your point, we were maybe over planning a little bit, and we're going to try and kind of undo that and just
relax.
And I'm sure the more of this we do, it'll become very, very unplanned.
We'll go from 10 followers to 2 followers. Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
But we got so many good people that another thing that we realize, and more as I've been going through the things I've been going through, and same with you, where it's just you dig into, you know, the things that how it affects me and my wife, our whole family, financially, everything about, like, when you realize this is your person, this is who you're meant to be with, the support that she gives me, and everything that we have to do to come together to get through a lot of hard times. It's like this is exactly what makes you realize the friends that you have and the connections that you have and the conversations that you have late night. You can just sit down and really raw and like understand, you know, different people's relationships and ways to like what it confirms why we work or things we could do to work better, etc. That these are the types of people we're going to have on the show. Because for us, you know, I think before we were kind of trying to find those, you know, like, hey, who's this, you know, Padres guy and this famous racer and this famous, you know, get these top level people that we'll still have on.
Yeah.
But man, like just our people closest to us that we see and talk to almost daily. We talked about them before. We talked about the Turhans and the Larrys, and there's so many people that are just Shaggy that are just right here every day.
And there are homies in there, and they're going to be here to talk.
You're the first person who needs to be sitting here with us because, one, everybody's funny as hell, and this is why we are constantly laughing all the time and sending memes and having stories and wanting to hang out as much as we can. Again, we always say this. It's Chasing the Cool, the podcast, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. So get in there and like send us some stuff if you got things you want to talk about.
Welcome
you want
back.
to share with us, any of that stuff. Like,
you want to be a guest? Come on, we'll talk.
We're open to do it, so it's going to be cool. But let's get, like, we were talking about NBA. I'm kind of trying to think of where we left at, because this is we're not trying to turn this into a sports show. Everybody here that's into sports that would give a crap about it.
Stats.
You watch all your stuff. You hear enough about it, so we're not going to inform you on anything. But at the same time, when we sit around in the backyard and do things, we're talking a lot about sports because that's what we love. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 TVs on. We're catching them all. We're into the golf. We're into the NASCAR. We're into the Supercross. We're into the NBA, baseball, you name it. Baseball just started.
We send each other videos. We talk about it. Really, where we're at right now, I like to think of this time of year as my favorite time of year as far as sports go.
A lot of overlap.
You get that overlap. So you got hockey, you got basketball. You got basketball getting down to the final 10 games, 7 games actually of the season starting tonight. You got baseball starting up, full life. You got hockey getting ready to go to the playoffs as well. We got the NFL draft coming up.
We got the Masters.
The Masters coming. The Masters is coming. Golf right now is super gritty and fun. There's still guys taking shots of each other, you know, like between, you know, live tournaments. Everything's juicy, and we haven't even, and I think that's the thing, is we don't even get to enjoy it all the time. I think we sit in our own little bubble, and that's what I'm doing when I'm picking up the kid, and we're just looking at, that's all I look at. I look at sports. I'm not on social media a lot. I always ping back to like Bleacher Report. I ping back to these sites, right? Basketball's great right now. The Celtics, incredible right now. We're 11 games up in the East. We are the best team in basketball.
Basketball sucks right now.
Basketball sucks. Chicago Bulls on the bubble, though. You guys are 2 games. You guys are
they're in the bubble. They decided to play Atlanta last night.
Atlanta beat us.
The one team they need to beat.
Atlanta shacked us. They beat us by 1 in overtime. They beat us by 2. It's a team that's sneaky good, but overall, like, sports right now, awesome.
March Madness. I mean, we're right at the end of March Madness. We're coming into Final Four, men's and women's. Yeah. That's what I've been locked into, and going to Meijer Live and sitting there. And
I saw your picks on our draft pool at work.
And there's a strategy there.
There was a strategy.
This is not who I think's going to win.
Point scale.
But I know who everyone's going to pick because it's too obvious. So I had to go in and go, if I'm going to win, I got to step outside the box and do something different than everybody else is doing. So I only had 2 brackets this year. I didn't go crazy. Obvious was UConn in my main bracket that I started. My Live had a bracket. I went with UNC in that one. As much as I'm a Duke guy, I don't want to pick Duke.
UNC.
I also...
I thought that was blasphemy, by the way. I had to go back and look through I was like, this motherfucker chose NC? Like, everyone... He practiced with Coach K, ran lines with, like, Grant Hill. Like, this guy, that is blasphemy. I hope he hears this.
But again, if I was going to do that, I would have picked San Diego State Aztecs. But
I'm also, made a good run.
They made a great run. I was excited. I think they made it one more game that I expected them to make, and they dominated that game. Had they played like that against UConn,
hitting 8 3-pointers.
I think we could have had a game, but then I was waiting. That's San Diego State all year.
They're playing UConn. They're
amazing, but they kind of base their team off one guy.
That's the third time they've beaten them in like
Ledee and Butler are kind of their guys, and if those guys don't perform, and when you're playing these top teams, Mountain West was insane.
Who you got? Who you got? Final four. What is it? Alabama, South Carolina, Connecticut. And Purdue, right?
I'm going.
I got Purdue to win it. I actually picked. I think Purdue is the only team that can beat.
So I'm gonna stick with NC State in this one just because they've been knocking them off.
11.
They're in 11 and they've been knocking them off. But I'm gonna take UConn and NC State. UConn to win it, but I'm picking NC State to go to the final against UConn. And UConn is the Boston Celtics. Let's be honest. It's a different. It's very similar.
They've become the Dukes of the past, the NCs of the past.
It's very similar to we have the MLB and then we have the Dodgers this year. So
we have so much to talk about with the Dodgers. By the way,
there's just some things that are a little bit off. So again, I'm rooting for.
You should bet $4.2 million, and you could translate for me too.
Yeah, well, I'll get my translator.
We'll talk about that.
I might need my translator for the next Trust Me podcast.
It's going to be. Oh, did you just leak a little bit? Just wait. Anyone that's watching right now, your ears probably just freaking rose and your nipples got hard.
I need my translator here.
Nipples might have just got hard for that. Look, he's a little uncomfortable. There's a little prequel. Yeah, so we got that. We got the Final Four. The women's.
Then we got the women's.
Holy
now once again, crazy. I'm going to stick with it. Last night games were great. We had USC last night. We had LSU. I mean, everything that is what we say scripted in the NFL, I don't think is scripted in this, but it was amazing because there's 4 girls really that are just at the top of this league. Caitlin Clark, obviously, Iowa broke every record this year.
Speaking of
and
Caitlin
just got
Clark
offered
too.
$5 million.
Talk about. I mean,
to
you
play
told
in
me
the Big
it's
Three.
great. Yeah,
she got offered $5 million from Ice Cube to play in the Big Three. And for anybody that hasn't seen that, I think it's a 10 or 11 game tournament that's on ESPN or one of the networks, so it gets TV time. And he offered her $5 million. I don't know that anybody that plays in the Big Three gets anywhere near
a lot of
$1
ex-pros,
million.
like
maybe endorsements, but not directly from the Big Three.
And you had a great view on it.
I think it's amazing because what's happening is, I guess in the way the college is set up now, she was at the top at like 4.1 million in college. When you go, you're looking at it's somewhere between 250 to maybe 500. Max, let's just put that out there, to go into the WNBA, and she's getting offered $5 million. So for me, I've heard a little bit more about this and look this up for yourself if you're interested. But from what I heard, basically that money, she could still take that money and still play in the WNBA because of the fact it's a 10-11 game Big Three condensed, almost a March Madness in a sense, if you look at it that way. That's a smaller, compact, in and out type of deal made for TV. So to me, you go in and even if it overlaps and you miss a little bit of the WNBA, I'm pretty sure there's still a WNBA team that's going to take you and let you miss 10 games.
Yeah, well, your career is going to be
good.
long.
Even if not, if it was a 2-year deal for $5 million, the WNBA ain't going anywhere, and they're still going to want you, and your ability and skill level of what you would learn playing outside of women's basketball, to me, is going to take you to a whole nother level.
I don't see it happening. I hope it happens. I mean, she's going to be the biggest thing. And some of these players that are coming out, and I've had time to go back and look, because I don't follow a ton of WNBA, let's just be honest, but incredible league of incredible athletes. she's going to be the biggest, including her personality type, her, alpha female.
And you get Angel Reese, and now that's the thing is now you're getting these names because of not just, I mean, last year, let's take the two biggest players. It's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And they come in and they go head to head, and there's the ring pointing and all the things that raise it up.
What,
and
41?
Yeah, and it brings it up, and they perform. They performed last night. I mean, this is put on. These are the typical things that even in men's sports, the spotlight's put on you, and someone doesn't shine at that moment like they're supposed to. These girls both were lights out. I mean, she's Steph Curry. She's making shots from anywhere. But the girls guarding her on LSU. It's the funniest thing. Go look it up. They're going to show the highlights, and every shot, they're just right away just running back on defense, just going, what am I supposed to do? Like what do I do that? The girl just crosses half court and throws it up, hand in the face. Doesn't matter. And then same, Angel Reese she's down low. She's stealing. She's blocking. Right? She's doing. So both girls perform. They stepped up. It's awesome. It's great for women's basketball. It's the first year that I've really been locked in. Later into it because I know in the beginning these girls are going to make it to the end. So once you get like Sweet 16, it becomes must see. They overlap it. They do a good job. So it's perfect to just like it keeps you engaged, and the top girls are making it to the end, and it's good to see. Man. It's these girls again. Now they're watching the opportunity for her to possibly play in this and get a $5 million deal. Any of that is just going to like.
It's unreal to even have that offer out, whether or not she takes it.
It's going to be awesome. So yes. Yeah.
Baseball started.
Like so
final sport thing. Baseball is started. Padres 2-4.
Padres are
3-4.
Yeah.
Red Sox 3-2.
But we got our one win against the Dodgers
you
out
did
of the way
on
early.
A 15-run outing. I mean, I've been looking at stats. It's early on.
I was up at 3 a.m.
You
for that
guys
one.
are scoring so many runs. Yeah. You guys got players. Tatis has 3 home runs. I mean, his batting average is just under 300, 296, I believe. I mean, guys are Xander's putting up runs. Campusano, they're putting up runs.
It's the
No, Joe goes out and he has a 9.6 ERA right now.
Joe
and then we're supposed to be the Red Sox are supposed to have the most terrible bullpen, and we're out there with a 1.7 ERA. We have 27 strikeouts, a 1. I mean, it's unbelievable that what happens in the first 5 games where you get excited. Everyone starts getting fired up, and you go, "Oh yeah, there's another 157 games."
The first 5.
3 days later,
really
All-Star breaks.
It's just,
and it doesn't work out, and then now they're blaming everything, and it turns into just complete and total shit show. And
now,
I'm ready for it.
Check this out. Speaking of Padres, I know if I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know who has seen it. I don't know who's been there yet. We're just only a few games in. I can't fucking wait to go see the new Gallagher Square that they just renovated in the offseason. For anybody that's
unreal.
Been
you
to
said
Petco
how fast
Park,
they got that.
We've talked about it before. We've done some clips with the show when we were doing this before at Petco. I don't care if you hate Dodgers fans, go to Petco Park. It's freaking one of the best stadiums in the world. And it's unbelievable. And they just renovated the outfield area right outside. There's a whole nother stage outside that they perform concerts and do things there. It's called Gallagher Square. Used to just be a grassy kind of mound.
You get seats and you hang out there.
It's the coolest place to just hang out and party and just. That's where you bring your dog, and it's just
little league. There's a little kids wiffle ball, and they're constantly playing
$30 tickets, sometimes $15 sometimes, depending on who you're playing.
The sandbox.
But they did a massive renovation. Peter Seidler, passed away at the end of the season, so a lot of things to honor Peter Seidler. Tony Gwynn's always had a statue, Mr. Padres, sitting up on the hilltop there. They took that statue and moved it up and kind of put a level with concessions and a tunnel that goes underneath with all kinds. There's a mural of Tony Gwynn and all types of memorabilia and things. You kind of walk there and get the story of him. I never realized this. Maybe you did. I don't know who did. I feel like I would have heard it before. There's also a Trevor Hoffman statue of him winding up for a pitch that sits closer to kind of, I guess, would be considered like middle field out there. Okay,
that's because that's where he came out from, playing Hell's Bells.
Right,
that was his thing. Right? Was it Hell's?
Yes. Yeah. So the best part is if you look now, and it might have been like this before, but they designed it now for a clear vision. And somebody took a picture the other day as I'm scanning through, looking at how cool this is and how many more people they can get in there and all the renovations. Trevor Hoffman is pitching to Tony Gwynn. and he's up on the hill and he's pitching to him.
That's
and like
badass.
just seeing that like gives you chills. It's crazy.
That's badass.
There's just this
Trevor Hoffman, I
Now
got
there's
to
this
see him.
perfect pathway that just it's like the two of them playing baseball together. It's unreal to take your kids there now. What they've done with that. They basically the stage 2 that had a big kind of a jumbotron now. They've turned it into a massive jumbotron, extended that out so that the amount of people out there can see it. And now you can really see into the stadium and kind of see the field.
I mean, it
where
was
before
already
there was a
unreal.
small little area you could kind of get up on the hill and see it.
Yeah.
But now the whole thing is kind of built to where you can really see in and actually see the grass minus the area where the
I mean, number one
it's
park
amazing.
in
It's
you know
amazing.
the New York Times every year, pretty
Food
much.
and drinks and et
it's
cetera.
unreal. Yeah,
It's
you can
like-
get some bao buns, get some sushi. Last time I was there, I spent like $100 just for me and my family just to get a bunch of sushi.
Here's the giveaway, and
bao
you're
buns.
probably going to see me if you want to see me. So my one, I've already mapped it out, and what I'm going to do is they do the giveaways. So every team does the giveaways. They have amazing giveaways. They did a great preview this year to show all there's certain jersey giveaway nights, hats and towels and all different kinds of cool things, bobbleheads. I love to try and go get those. Our boy Larry O is always hooking it up. We go in there. I've gone there sometimes without him just to get the merch.
We
'cause
did the
he's-
bobblehead swap last year.
he's not using the
Yeah.
tickets. I'm like, dude, it's
We're
giveaway night.
swapping on
Larry, let's
Mitchell
go.
swapping on the street for older bobbleheads for a new bobblehead.
So this year I looked at all the tickets, and you're sitting at $30 on average to buy a ticket for Gallagher Square, and you go in there and you grab your jersey, your hoodie, your hat, whatever the thing is. You get there, you hang out, do your little thing. If they're winning, stay. If you're bummed out, go home. Get your merch, man. It's friggin' 25 minutes from here. You got to drive down there,
Fresh
get the
merch, dude.
and
I mean, their place is unreal. That store
it's
is
fun.
really
And again, hey, shout out to Larry O and Brandon and Brian. We haven't seen any of these guys. Like I haven't seen them this year. That's how crazy everything's been.
we
so
don't have friends.
I think
I have no
things we
friends.
talk about sports so much because of the fact that it's not just about the sports. It's about the connection of how many people I know I've met
Mm-hmm.
at your place elsewhere where it kind of breaks the ice talking about sports. You know, sometimes you see somebody wearing a hat or something, a Celtics hat, a Padres hat, whatever, that I'm like, hey, conversation started right there, high five. Or vice versa. LA hat, screw you, and you a little fun banter about screw you, we're gonna kick your ass this year. Whatever it is, the sports like that right there, that icebreaker and how it connects people, which is our biggest thing.
It's a bind
so
for
good.
us, and it's a shit talking opportunity. It's an awesome opportunity. And today, when we left with Shaggy, because we had to pick up some stuff today at the restaurant, Shaggy texted me and my really good friend, one of my best friends, Brandon Johnson. Shout out to you, Dallas Cowboys
What's up,
fan.
Brandon?
And he sent a little thing. He's like, I know it's late, but it said, don't make fun of the kids that don't believe in the Easter Bunny. 'Cause some adults still believe in the Cowboys. Oh my gosh. And I was going to respond back to it, but I figured this is the best response ever. I'm sorry, Brandon. That's a rough one. Shout out to Shaggy. That is rough. And that's the things. Those are the connections. It's the fun stuff. We nudge each other and we push each other, and then things don't go your way. And oh man.
So hey, I'm gonna tell you another one. Another one we talked on. We're gonna have my brother David Bailey back on here. It's
legend.
perfect. And again, with that was that could be another thing that took us to here and crushed us just as fast. Is when we have someone like my brother on with a following like he does, and we're getting 4,500 views overnight, and we think we're amazing, and then the next one we get 100. It's a little deflating.
You start to look at
we rethink who we are.
the variables and the intangibles of what's happening. Like they weren't there to see us. We could have had blurted faces with voices like this, like we're in a black dark room and giving conspiracy theories.
And at the same time, my brother is one of the ones that inspires me and says, hey, like, dude, keep doing what you're doing, because the things that I love about why he got into the Chicago Bulls with me and Michael Jordan years ago, he was Lakers and Magic Johnson. I introduced him to Michael Jordan because it wasn't just, hey, check out this great basketball player. It was
I didn't
differences.
know
It
he was
shoes.
a Lakers. He was a Lakers fan.
Well,
So I knew about the.
he's from California.
Yeah, but I
so
knew about the
originally.
Bulls thing, and that's why you got into it. He was a Lakers fan.
Yeah, he was a Lakers fan, and why wouldn't you?
I mean, he was a winner, and so he loved the winning being from California.
Showtime was Showtime.
unreal.
And if you're from
the
California,
Celtics were pretty good during then too, but
and he was living out. He's Simi Valley. That's where Honda Test Track was. Things like that. So he's out in that area. That's
I did not know that.
I know about Michael Jordan because at the same time we were from Virginia. But originally family San Diego, Dana Point. But we had moved back to. I grew up, born and was raised Virginia, North Carolina border. So I was very much a college basketball guy. You know, really, it was crazy because even when I saw Michael Jordan through the Duke UNC rivalry and loved Michael Jordan, was like there was just something about it. I didn't know what it was. There's a lot of good players. There was something about him that was kind of like, again, a little like, I'm going to go here and watch this and just not tell anybody. So once he left and went to the NBA, I was like, cool, now I can check this guy out and proudly say his name because he's not UNC anymore. He went to the Chicago Bulls, which I knew nothing about, absolutely nothing. Why the hell would I want? Again, if anything, we didn't have a team at the time. We didn't have Charlotte Hornets or any of that yet at this time. So for me, I'm pretty much a Lakers guy too because that's just all I know. I know college sports. And I follow NBA, but I don't have a team. So,
because out there, I mean, it was the Hornets at the time, really.
No, it wasn't. We didn't have the Hornets yet.
You didn't have them.
They didn't even exist yet. So this was prior to that. So for me, that was it. I didn't have a team that I had to leave or anything like that. When I got to NBA, I'm just kind of watching it like any kid anywhere that we don't have a team. So I'm kind of following them. So for me, that was my, kind of where I jumped into the Michael Jordan. Then this was before there was such a thing as sneakerheads, but I was just, again, we've talked about with my brother, it was always about he had the cool gear and designed his stuff and came out with that Dayglow Flow Orange and set different trends. I was always into that, and we were, art people, and we drew and did different things and created stuff. So there was something, again, about Jordan, even with his shoe deal and everything that was like, oh my God. And we all remember, whether you were a fan or not, the All-Star weekends that used to be the greatest thing.
They were the greatest. The
greatest
jerseys were dope. The game was dope. I mean, that was back when
what shoes is Michael Jordan
the
wearing?
Dream
That's
Team
when they
was
would
around,
release.
and it was like it was a different. You're watching,
and
the
they weren't
it's
weekend
trash.
shoe releases like they are now. They were yearly.
And
shoe
you had
releases.
to have them, and there was 20 at most, maybe 10, and you had to have them.
And you had to line up at Foot Locker on a Saturday.
I used to get the Penny Hardaways. And you were the dopest cat to have those Air Pennies, and I would get those back. The Pippins with the air up the side. I mean, the Jordans, obviously, when they were actually Jordans being released when Jordan was playing.
Ridiculous.
I mean, you had shoes, and you had them, and they were out, like you said. That was the shoe for the year. There wasn't 5 colorways. There wasn't 87 players with their own shoe. It was. I loved it. And I had to get them, and my mom would get mad at me because I would go out to PE and play basketball, and I would ruin them. She'd be like, "You've had those for a month and a half. Those were $180, $130 back then. $130 was like mind blowing. You're like $130 Jordans. Like you just ruined those in a month and a half. I'm like, I had to wear them when I was playing on the blacktop. Oh man, those were the days. The shoe drops. I was thinking about that the other day. Like even just like the Barry Sanders and the Deions, like having those shoes.
We're gonna have some episodes we get into that. We've talked about our boy Turhan. He makes me look like I don't even know what I'm talking about when it comes to sneakers.
Yeah, he's fresh to death.
He's Mr. Sneakerhead.
Fresh to death.
I wouldn't
saw
even
him for a minute snippet on the golf episode for his birthday. The guy,
that's crazy.
He shows up and you're just like, is he a celebrity? Are you a celebrity?
I just got these because my boy Rick at Nike Golf sent these over, but these. Hey, this is the only thing I have up on Turhan. This is it. This is it. So I got to show them off because it's the only thing. I got one thing.
Cactus Jacks.
That's all I'm selling. But yeah. So excited.
Yeah. So I mean, talking about shoes. Lastly, like he points out some shoes about 3 weeks ago, and I'm looking at these green SB Dunk Jordan shoes, and I'm like, I'm gonna go online. I'm gonna order some, and I was like, $400. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. Yeah. And my wife, of course, is like, "What do you want them? Go ahead and get them." I'm like, they're $400. $280. That's like my threshold. I'm like, cool.
There's definitely
$400 shoes. They're white. I'm like, there's no way I would thrash those. But sneakerheads, man, I'm not good at that.
So again, these showed up for free. Or I've never even seen them in person, even know that they actually exist, other than on somebody like Travis Scott.
Your son Jake lost his mind when you watched.
I lost. There was a lot of people losing their mind.
He literally was like, he put his cell phone in there to talk when he was driving. Yeah. He was like sifting wine out of those things. He like everywhere he went, it's like, Mitchell, you're in your PJs, but I got my Cactus Jacks.
When Nike sent me a box, I'm thinking like, cool, I'm gonna get like some white SB one, like cool. But it was bigger than usual. It wasn't a shoe box. It was a Christmas box of things.
Must be nice to know people.
So
man.
There's multiple boxes, and
nice.
it happened to be the first that there was tears. Like the first thing I saw.
He like wiped his tears.
I know because I see the Cactus Jack. I see the outside of the box, and almost to the point I'm going, this asshole punked me open this shit up, and it's gonna be some other trash.
He's like, these are wrong. The swoosh is backwards. Oh wait, that's how they're supposed to be.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with I was talking about my brother, so we're gonna get him back on. What's cool is, hey, definitely go. We've got some stuff going on here in the background. ChasingTheCool.com. We've got shirts and stuff that I'm constantly adding to. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna keep adding stuff and kind of do some drops throughout the week. Again, if you got an idea for a shirt, something I can get away with without getting in trouble, I might throw it up. Throw me an idea for a design. We'll put it on there.
That's something to talk about on another episode too. We have so much stuff to talk about.
I mean, I might have gotten a cease and assist from the MLB.
Might have happened from a good friend of ours, actually. Ironically, weird. Well, hey, you know what? We're not holding back.
We'll tag you. We'll tag you.
We'll talk to you later. We're not holding back, but when you walked in behind that person to watch State,
it was interesting. But you know what? It's all love. It's a small family. It's a small family around here.
We love them. I think there was a mistake that happened there. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I think
like
so.
This. Hey, I think there was.
I think so as well, or else.
Elbow drops.
But what was cool is I remember going back to kind of where we were a while back. We were talking about, we had my brother on, and we were doing some limited release T-shirts that I was designing for him, and kind of doing some throwback stuff that again was honoring those '90s Chicago Bulls, Lakers, multiple championships, super vintage. That's what's hot right now. It's selling in PacSun and everywhere. It's the hottest thing out there. So we kind of took my brother and different things with him and kind of mimic those style of shirts for motocross, because that's unique to. I had to check my watch because we have a very important phone call that might be coming in, but that's not it.
You guys have no idea.
Might have to go live.
The day that we decided to shoot this one, it was great. You're like, oh, by the way, this might be
Ryan Povich.
Yes, I am Ryan Winfrey, aka Ryan Walters, Baba Walters.
We did a shirt that kind of honored that. So we've had a lot of fun with that stuff. But this year, Supercross in general, I kind of want to have him on. I think we have maybe 5 races left somewhere in there. So we're kind of getting to the end of that before they'll head to outdoors. But it'd be cool to have him on, just kind of talk about, we talked about that before, that we're going to have him in and kind of talk about some of the things for the people. Again, we do probably have a good amount of followers because of my brother when we first started this, that are motocross people that don't give a shit when we keep talking about basketball and baseball.
In our personal lives, they're like, cool.
They're like, cool.
Land the plane, buddy, land the plane.
Cool, when's David going to be back on?
Yeah, cool.
6.5 hours later.
Yeah, no, it's unreal. So I think we've been talking sports again. Yeah. Look at us. It's weird.
Well, we said we were going to do that, but guess what? You're fortunate that you didn't have to listen to this whole show because we're just pulling some clips.
We're just pulling stuff. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun goddamn year.
Hey,
you guys
for our 2 people that are just like, I want to hear everything you said. We might have a secret link.
People want to hear this stuff. The stuff that we're going to be talking about.
1 eternity later.
Hit the follow button, set the alarm,
no excuses
hold us to it. If we're not on,
you see us,
go, assholes, you lied to us. What's going on?
Literally.
But stay tuned, because we gotta maybe our biggest show ever.
I've been trying to just kind of bite my lip over here. We got some juicy stuff coming. Mitchell obviously has been a big part of some big things, especially this last 7-8 years. Yeah. And stuff that you guys are aware of and stuff that you're not aware of, but we've got some juicy stuff coming for you. I think a lot of people are going to want to hear and know, right?
With what we're going to be talking about and really get in depth with on our next episode, it's mostly just going to consist of that only in our next episode. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be interested to hear a lot of this and what's going on.
Really interested.
What I can talk about, which anything I can. I've been tight-lipped and kind of had to for a long time, but at the same time, as I talked about in the beginning, I have a family and I need to put food on the table. I need to make money, and to protect certain things, I think people in all scenarios, bad relationships, business partnerships, anything, people will not speak and say things that they should to get out of it, move forward, because they're stuck in that. Well, I don't want to do that because then that's going to hurt this, or that's going to cause a problem here.
It took you a long time.
It starts a thing. So I've been working on those things, because ultimately what you want to do, again, if you're looking at a relationship scenario, is you want to work on how can I fix this as opposed to complaining about it? You know, let me not just complain and go out and bitch about everything. Let me do everything I can to fix it because I want my relationship fixed. So you want to fix these types of things in business or whatever. I've been doing this for a long time. And again, when you call something your baby in that scenario, it's different than working somewhere and doesn't work out and you get fired or you quit and you move on and you know everybody has that.
You got to stand up for yourself.
Everyone has that reset in their life that sometimes getting fired or having a bad situation that makes you just say, F it, I'm out of here is the best thing for you because it kind of forces you to do something different and not just get stuck in what you've been doing forever. For me, it's unique and different because of the fact that I've done it for so long. Yes, it's my baby. And yes, it's something that I still believe in today. So the fight to do everything I can to fix it, repair it, move forward. And most importantly, more than me or the idea and concept itself, it's all the people that I got involved or all the people that got involved, not just because of me, but because of creating something so good with so much potential that why would I not want to be a part of that? You know, and it's everything about it is here.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of things in life until you're behind the doors and understand that they're here. So in being that scenario, you know, like I said, we could get a phone call any second. I'm waiting.
Today we decided to do it.
I've been waiting for a long time and that's why we'll explain more why I've been kind of gone and behind the scenes and out of light for a long time is because I've constantly been waiting for something and not waiting. I'm trying to be part of the solution and again, not just complain and wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
But a lot of things that are out of my control and things that I can't control. So waiting on that phone call now, for me, it's been hard because this is all people know me as in the last 6 to 10 years, where prior to that, a lot of stories we've told with OCD and things you see in the beginning and where the name Chasing the Cool came from and all that was through tons of companies that I had networked with over the years since, you know, starting in 1992 that I started to design and work with everything, be it from NFL to NBA to Ethica and apparel brands and on and on and on into fashion and had, you know, was blessed to do so many things, which led to Trust Me Vodka, which also became such a good thing and such a great opportunity and so successful in a sense at that moment that I was able to kind of like, hey, I'm going to take a lot less, but the big picture here is way more valuable that I put all my effort, time, and energy into this. And, you know,
it's a big reason why we took a break. There's been a lot
and cut off a lot of the other things I've done. So I've had the opportunity. We're going to have him on. Malcolm McCaskey, Mended, something that we started a long time ago, but I was so engulfed in this that I couldn't really put the time into it. He was putting time into it along. We kind of reconnected and were able to kind of like, hey, well, I'm kind of sitting here, you know, like this. So like, shit, let's get this going. How can I help you? He's moved to Texas since, so it's a little bit harder to work together. But we're going to have him on and introduce a lot of the stuff that we just launched. We got a whole line of motocross gear and just cool apparel and new underlayer stuff that's kind of that next level of what we had done a long time ago, but even better. So excited about that. I'm working with some goggle companies and just got working with a guy that had years ago that worked with that. It kind of weird how things come back around, but now working with a NASCAR driver and kind of in the NASCAR, you know, so a lot of different things, but it was hard to find these things because people aren't looking for me to do work for them necessarily because, well, he's Trust Me Vodka and he's doing Trust Me Vodka and he's been off the table for years, you know, so there it is.
Oh, shit.
Hold on, let me.
Well, is that it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Are we?
Hello?
Are we good? Are we stopping?
Yeah, hold on. Hello? Yeah, we're good. Oh boy, okay. Yeah, we're talking about it right now, but all right, yeah, let's wrap it up and we'll get back. All right, yeah, let me grab this.
Holy moly! Well.
yeah, so I guess we wrapped that show, but we're gonna
All right.
got a few things to discuss with some people, but we will be back next week, and I think we got a little different story to tell. Yeah, tough ending. All right, see you next week.
See you next week.